March of the Machine and March of the Machine Commander brought us 24 brand new duo commanders featuring famous legendary creatures from around the multiverse pairing up to fight the Phyrexian invasion. We went over them during the last stream and ranked them, tiered them against all of the others to see which ones are best. If you were there for it live, let us know down in the comments you were there for it live. And if you weren't, let us know your comments on where you think these fell. And if you agree with us or disagree with us, give me just a second to thank our Patreon for supporting our channel, and we'll be right back with the tier list.
Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat.
We're just going to go in order. We're going to rank these on how good we think they are as a commander. S, A, B, C, D. Starting with Elenda and Azor from Ixalan.
There's going to be some of these characters that I don't even know who they are, so I'm just going to evaluate the card based on how I feel about it, what I think of it.
Absolutely. Of course. I'll start this one. We can go back and forth, Jake. Elenda and Azor. A black, a blue, a white, and 3 for a 6/6 Vampire Knight Sphinx. It's got flying. It's got ward 2. Always love a good ward. Whenever it attacks, you can pay X and Esper. If you do, you draw X cards. And at the beginning of each end step, you may pay 4 life. And if you do, create a number of 1/1 black Vampire Knight creature tokens with lifelink equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. And so you've got this kind of like Esper, tokens, card draw, commander. Things going for it, it flies, it has ward. Things against it, I don't love that the card draw is on an attack trigger, personally. Things going very for it is that last ability is passive, baby. You can draw cards in any possible way, pay 4 life, and create that many vampire creature tokens with life link to recuperate that life you're losing. I think that piece has potential if you like play this late as some sort of enchantment, honestly. What do you think of this one?
I think it's definitely an interesting card. I like anything with ward on it. It's kind of like their go-to these days instead of hexproof.
Oh yeah.
I actually do like that it's on the attack, and thankfully it doesn't have to deal damage in order to do it.
That's true.
It's just not really my style of card. I'm just not super into it. It's interesting, but it's not really what I'm interested in doing. I do like that you can go wide with it. It does seem like a commander that everything it needs to do is on it.
Yeah.
We see this these days where if a commander can create creatures, that can be a big deal. So I do think that it's an interesting card. Just at 6 mana, I'm just not really interested in playing it.
The last note I want to make is coming from chat. Erdvidan says, don't forget it's each end step, and that is important here. So if you can draw cards during your opponent's turns on their end step, you can pay 4 life and create a 1/1 according to how many cards you drew. Overall, Jake, I'm kind of feeling a C on this one. What are you feeling?
That's kind of like where I am on it. Yeah. I was thinking maybe a B, but if you're saying a C, I'm fine with that.
It feels a little expensive, and you need a lot of mana rocks. So let's go ahead and take a look at Moira and Teshar. This is one of the duos that was Phyrexianized. So they succumbed.
Oh, they're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Well, based on the perspective.
That is true. Yeah, maybe the Phyrexians were
one
right.
Black, yeah, 1 black, 1 white, 3 other. For 4/5 Phyrexian Spirit Bird. Flying, whenever you cast a historic spell, return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. It would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Seems pretty fun.
Bro,
pretty good card.
Historic spell. So Mox.
It's non-land permanent.
Mox Amber. 0 mana. Mox Amber returns. Pick the best creature you want to return from the graveyard. Pick the most bomb thing that you can put in the graveyard and it sticks, instead of getting shuffled back in like Blightsteel Colossus. A 0 cost
or
spell.
blink it. You can blink something too.
Also true. Also true. And you're in the right colors to do that. 5 mana, a little hefty, but honestly, I feel like if it was any lower mana, we'd be talking about how broken this is. Because any 1 mana artifact you play is returning a non-land permanent. Any non-land permanent.
Right. So if you have big stuff in the yard, you can do a lot with it. That's
what I'm saying. Not that Reanimator needed any additional tools, but this seems pretty sick to build around as a commander. And I actually kind of love it in the 99, dude. It's a really good one too.
It seems solid in both.
Yeah. I'm thinking
I would probably go solid B on this.
Yeah,
possibly an A.
No, we were on the same page. I was thinking like B plus.
It's just the casting cost is a little bit high.
Rashmi and Ragavan appearing in one of his 4 or 5 appearances in this set.
Now I see why we're not doing these as romantic couples.
Dude, Ragavan is their new main character, so you never know. Rashmi and Ragavan. Red, blue, green, 1 for an elf monkey. 2/4. Here we go. Whenever you cast your first spell during each of your turns, exile the top card of target opponent's library and create a treasure token. Then you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost if it's a spell with mana value less than the number of artifacts you control. And if you don't cast it this way, you may cast it this turn. Everybody give it up for templating and wording on this card. Everybody just give it up. Everybody give it up for the wording on this one. Everybody give it up. You're going to play this and everybody's going to go, let me read that one more time. Let's give it up for the let me read that one more time commander of the set right here. Woo! Look, it's got all of the right. I can't read this.
It's teamer artifacts. That's what it is. It's built into a teamer artifact thing
for sure. Treasure tokens, teamer treasures.
So it's got a little bit of a. It honestly, it has a little bit of like a. What's the card? Why can't I read Chaos Wand? It has a little bit of a vibe like that.
Yeah,
too.
Absolutely.
It's the impulse kind of thing.
Right. And I'm making fun of how many words it took for them to convey the ruling, the abilities of this card. It is pretty straightforward. When you cast a spell, your first one on your turn, you pick an opponent, exile the top of their library, create a treasure token. You can cast it if its CMC is less than the artifacts you control number of. And if you don't cast it the free way, you can still pay mana and cast it.
And they give you a treasure token in case you need to fix your mana.
Yeah.
It's in colors that are known for being absolutely degenerate.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's a bunch of keywords that all seem really degenerate nowadays. Exile the top card, treasure token without paying its mana cost, number of artifacts you control. Like these phrases typically add up to a pretty brutal commander.
Someone said it's just more boring value town good stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, right. And I kind of agree, dude.
I agree too, but that doesn't mean like to me this is an A.
I was thinking B.5.
Okay, I'm happy with a B on it. We're not judging is it boring.
It could. That's true.
We're judging is it good. And yeah, this is another value town. You know. If you really like Rashmi and Ragavan, rock and roll. If you like Kaladesh, rock and roll.
It may be an A, dude. I think it's kind of an A too. If you were thinking it's an A, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well.
Okay, that was my original feeling, but I'm comfortable with a B on it because I am a little bored by it. We'll call it. I like Tim C's. It's an A, but it's a boring A. Jake, walk us through Saint Traft.
What holds it back is the fact that when it get something off the top, it's always going to be random. It's not like you're going to know what you're getting off the opponent's library.
For sure. And so it does specifically say cast, so you can't. If you could get the lands, that would be pretty sick.
It's a chaos. You know what? Make it a B. I'm fine with it being a B. I don't think it's an A.
We are back to B.
It's fine. No, we haven't. The bad boy. Probably still like another year out.
All right. Jake, walk us through Saint Traft and Rem Karolus.
All right, so we have Jeskai for a 3/4 legendary creature spirit human. Whenever Saint Traft and Rem Karolus become tapped, create a 1/1 red human creature token. If this is the first time this ability is resolved this turn. If it's the second time, create a 1/1 blue spirit creature token with flying. If it's the third time, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, untap Saint Traft and Rem Karolus.
Okay, so untap shenanigans, but
there's a lot going on here.
It comes with its own untap, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
The initial question, obviously, that I have is how much Convoke support do we have in Jeskai? So we've got 52 options. Let's just sort by...
probably enough for a deck, but you'd have to just run all of it.
Right. You know, I'm thinking you sort by rarity here, and you sort of check destroy all non-token creatures. That would work in here. You know, return to the ranks, getting some creatures back.
This set is actually stocked full of some good Convoke cards. I actually have a few on my list.
That's what I was going to say. It's, you know, looking... So the uncommons start right here. Looking at the rare Convoke cards. New. So you've got a pretty good amount of rares now that could be cast. And then some of the uncommons, they're probably good. I mean, like, here's just a free flying 4/5 once you've got enough tokens to convoke stuff. Convoke exile spell. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Equal to the number of creatures you control. A free, if you got the creatures to convoke it out, a free flyer with power equal to the number of creatures you control. So, you know, a lot of cards that are medium, like Seraph of the Masses, become pretty solid players in a deck like this. And so, looking at Rem Karolus, I'm also like, you could run some vehicles in here. That'd be pretty sweet. Because they'd be tapping to crew. So you'd get some extra tokens off of that if you're not casting some Convoke. And 3 power.
You would probably want to run Anointed in here, obviously. That would be...
Absolutely. Yeah, any token, any strong token creature cards go in here. At 3 mana for 3/4, the thing is like, I feel like in my heart of hearts, for this strategy, this is obviously an S, but it's a very narrow build line. This is like, you should probably run as many Convoke spells as you can justify. And then some other tricks for tapping and untapping Saint Traft and Rem. And then good stuff, token cards, right?
Right.
That's kind of where I fall on it. So I feel like it definitely falls back from being an S. It maybe even falls back from being an A because of its narrow build line. What do you think? How do we rank?
That's kind of how I feel about it. A B.
Yeah.
I think it's a B.
It's
pretty
how do
sweet, but we also need to remember that this set can't be too pushed because it's not a master set. It's a set that's going to have like standard application. Now I know that this is a commander. I do know that, but I'm just saying like, because this is at the helm of one of the commander decks, right? Those are the ones that we're doing first.
They're not at the helm. They are like the backup commanders.
In the backup commanders. Got it.
But they are,
okay,
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I see chat right now going low B, maybe C. Y'all are very, very underestimating how quickly this will get out of hand. You create those creature tokens. Listen to this. It convokes. You untap it when it convokes something. You're creating creature tokens that can then convoke again. Because they can come in and convoke that same turn. But I'm comfortable with it at B. Very comfortable with it at B. Because it is a narrow build line.
Yeah.
You gotta run convoke cards. And any commander that limits you on your cards, I think goes a little bit further down. Let's take a look at Shalai and Hallar. A white, a green, a red, and 1. for a 3/3 flying vigilant angel elf. Whenever one or more +1 counters are put on a creature you control, Shalai and Hallar deals that much damage to target opponent. My kingdom for this to say any target and not target opponent. Because then
it goes for the face. It's just like face is the place, and
right.
it's going for the face.
That's all it wants to do is face it up, bro. This is a more powerful commander than we've seen so far, in my opinion. Because you know how easy it is to like dump just 3 counters on something? Every time you use Ozolith to dump all those +1/+1 counters onto something else, however many, I mean, we just saw all will be one.
Chad is saying it's an S. Oh, because there's an infinite combo. What is the combo I'm missing?
Yeah, Sun Crowned and Red Terror. Right. It's a walking ballista out of your command zone. That's an excellent way to put it. Excellent way to put it, Hugh. Is that it's walking ballista out of your command zone, and you can't.
It's probably an S then. If it's a walking ballista out of the command zone, then it's probably an S.
Kind of walking ballista out of your command zone.
We'll say an A.5, just so that we can leave a little bit of room for something to be better. But
for
it does seem kind of good.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at it as a ballista, but now I see it.
Well, you saw the colors green, red, white, and your brain went, I'm not interested.
Well, here's the thing: is I do play green, white in Carador, so it's like I like those colors, but they do have to be paired up with one of the colors I do like, which are any of the Grixis colors,
black or blue or red, right?
All right, next up, now this is one that we've seen for a minute: Goro-Goro and Satoru.
I've already started to build on this one, dude. I've got a version 1 of this deck already. I love this commander.
Oh, nice. Well, it's a nice cheap 3 mana.
Love it.
For a 3/4. Whenever one or more creatures you control that entered the battlefield this turn deal combat damage to a player, create a 5/5 red dragon spirit creature token with flying. That's a nice little ability there. And then it has haste built in. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn for 1 red and 1 other. It's a toolbox. It just pretty much does everything you need it to do. It is it's the engine, baby. Just build around it. I still think it's casual, dude. I think it's pretty chill. I would give it probably a solid B, but it's still fun, and it's in the colors that actually do things.
So here's my work in progress version of it. It's kind of a weird balance between cards like Criddle, which lets things go unblocked, and then also dragon payoffs like Kolagon. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, creatures you control get +1/+0. And so it ends up being this, at least my version of it, ended up being this weird version. You can see, like, Rite of the Raging Storm has never found a better home, man. Each player's creating a 5/1 trample hasting sack it. Things are dealing combat damage, you're drawing cards. You know, it's a lot of like, we like haste, but we also don't mind cards like Tetsuo that are just a 2/1. I mean, a 1/3 for 2 that allows it and any of your other things with just 1 to sneak in and deal that damage that you need. And so,
that's good. I do like that.
Right,
that builds into it nicely.
I agree with you. I think it's a B. It's another pretty narrow line. You need to really choose how to build this, what you want to focus on, because you could go just straight haste dragons and let this be some kind of pseudo dragon commander, but this is one of the very first ones that really caught my eye in this product, just because I like this sort of 2 things in one. I really think it captures the idea of having 2 legendary characters as 1 legendary creature as your commander. I think this captures that idea so well, because Satoru lets you get through and deal damage. Goro-Goro uses that to create dragons. That's sweet. Big fan.
Like, you could just go tiny dashers and just like dash a bunch of little guys,
right?
And then just get dragon profit from them too,
dude. Exactly. It's just dragon value. You don't even have to run. I remember having this discussion the day this card was previewed in our Discord. Make sure you hop into our Discord. So many people were like, "Oh, dragon tribal, dragon tribal, dragon tribal," and I was like, "Dude, a bunch of 1/1s that say can't be blocked." And the dragons are just 5/5 flyers. Nobody's going to turn down an endless supply of 5/5 flyers.
Right.
That'll
right,
be fine
exactly.
by itself. We don't need any dragon payoffs. So let's take a look at Katilda and Lier. Blue, white, green for a 3/3 human. Whenever you cast a human spell, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. This card feels absolutely busted to me.
Yeah, it's very good. It has blue, so it's going to be very strong because it has blue.
It's in one of the most expansive tribes in the entire game.
Yeah, human is a deep tribe.
We're not asking, is it boring, chat? I'm seeing some C's for boring. I'm not asking if it's boring. I'm saying that every single
it
human
is essentially
lets your
Time is saying
instants and sorceries.
Snapcaster tribal.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much value, dude.
Dude, Time Walk? Time Walk?
Narrow,
play a one mana human
only,
Time Walk again?
It's narrow only in the sense that you have to build humans in order to get the most out of it. That is the only way that this card is at all narrow. Other than that, you can just pretty much, like, what kind of spells do you want to put in your graveyard?
Right.
You want to, like, pitch big spells and then play humans? And I mean, like, it seems pretty good. You know, it's in green, so you can ramp. So if you do want to play big stuff, you could get to those casting costs.
I know that it is only one creature type that we're pulling from, but it is the deepest creature type that exists. You have your pick of some of the best creatures that have ever been printed in green, white, and blue when you're looking at humans. So,
yeah,
I mean, I feel like the discussion is it's definitely A. Does it push over into S?
Yeah, it's probably an S. I know it's the best creature type, and no, I know that human isn't narrow. I'm just saying, like, that is how you build this commander. For sure,
you
absolutely. Build it as humans.
You pick 25 value humans. You pick 25 value instants and sorceries, and you fill out the rest of your deck, run 36, 38 lands, and call it a day. You have to think though, like, if you're, I mean, the instants and sorceries you need to pick need to be impactful enough that when you play a human at sorcery speed and you're getting something back, unless you're playing a human with flash, for example, if you're playing a human with flash, it's going to be different. Right.
But yeah, like, you have to think, like, when you are playing the humans, you're going to be getting something back that you may not actually need right in that moment. But I mean, casting a Path to Exile and then playing a human and casting another Path to Exile is never going to be bad. You know, it's never going to be terrible to get double value out of your removal, which is probably how I would just play it. It's just like,
removal and card draw,
dude. Beast with it. Get an extra, whatever.
Teferi's protection, any of your card draw spells. Just out of curiosity, Lier doesn't actually fit the bill here, but it definitely would be in the deck. I mean, just looking at the first 8 humans with flash, all of these cards are pretty sick. And we're only on the first 2 rows. Even getting down 2 more rows, you're like, oh, yep, all those cards are pretty solid too. And that's just the flash ones. That's before you get any deeper. So yeah, I think that as far as strong ones go, tell us about Slimefoot and Squee. A little Jund one. This is the last of the commander product duos.
Yeah, 1 green, 1 red, 1 black for a 3/3 fungus goblin. Whenever Slimefoot and Squee enters the battlefield or attacks, create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. And then for Jund and 1 other, you can sacrifice the sapperling, return Slimefoot and Squee, and up to 1 other target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So, it's a pretty big deal, man. It's a very, very strong card. It's like, throw big stuff in the graveyard, get it back, profit. It's nice for, like, any sort of sacrifice effects as well, because you're going to be able to get a 1/1 just for it entering.
You never have to pay commander tax for this commander at all. It just keeps returning like Squee.
As long as you have a sapperling, you can return this and up to 1 other target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Straight up. Any creature.
Straight up. There is no exile it at the next end step or anything like that.
Nah, I mean,
it's busted. It's busted, dude. I would put this at an A or an S as well.
I would put this as an S. I was actually going to say an S. This is like a kick-ass Jund commander. That's also Slimefoot and Squee, so it's fun as hell too.
But you need to have a sapperling. So what is, you know what I like about this is, wait, can we go back to it for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
So sacrifice the sapperling.
Return it and up to one other target
So
creature
as long
from your
as this
graveyard to
is
the battlefield.
in the yard, you can just use that ability.
Oh yeah. It's silly.
I mean, it is a case for Maskwood Nexus, because being able to create sapperlings and make sure that ability is online is a pretty big deal. So changelings are going to be good in there.
Oh yeah, changelings, absolutely, just like anyone. I wanted to see what the top sapperling creating cards are.
The Dryad, dude. Dryad is so freaking
Dryad's
good.
an obvious one in this one. You know, Michaeloths as well. Spore Mound is a sapperling every time you drop a land. X11 green sapperlings onto the battlefield. So there's enough. I would say you don't want to go too deep on the like, we're gonna play sapperlings with this.
That's what holds it back. That's why I think maybe it is an A.
Maybe an A.
Maybe it is an A. Because sapperlings are just not. I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's interesting. It's cool. I think it's an easy A.
I think I'm with you on easy A there. Easy A.
It does come with the sapperling on the ETB and the attack.
Well, that's why it's an A in my opinion. That's what bumps it up into A territory immediately, is because it provides its own. It provided its own gas basically. But board wipe, you got to figure out how to get a sapperling back on the field or play a changeling. Maskwood Nexus. We'll leave it at A for now. I mean,
you can always just. I would go big mana, but you can always just move it to the command zone, play it again, get the sapperling.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And I would probably, since there's red in it, I would probably run a couple enchantments that give haste. And the reason is so that you can play it and attack somebody who might have shields down, so you can get the extra sapperling. And then the other thing I would do is if I am getting big stuff back to the battlefield, I would like to be able to swing with it the turn it comes out. So I would probably run a couple haste enablers.
Yeah, anger.
If it's going to be big stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Anger. I like fervor. People don't like fervor, but I'm a fan of it. And it's also in the colors for Rhythm of the Wild and
all the haste enablers.
Like that. Yeah.
The Kraken Jank pointed out that this little sapperling has a tiny little sapperling spear. That's pretty cute.
Nice.
Honestly, it's pretty cute. Baral and Kari Zev, hailing from Kaladesh. So these are from the main set. A red, a blue, and one for a 2/4 human. It's got first strike. It's got menace. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, you can cast a spell with lesser mana value that shares a card type with it from your hand without paying its mana cost. More free spells. So if you can cast, like Treasure Cruise, oh boy. You're pretty much casting, you're drawing a ton of cards, and then you're also casting anything from your hand that is less than the cost of Treasure Cruise before it got reduced. If you don't, create First Mate Ragavan, a legendary 2/1 red monkey pirate creature token, gains haste. Mana cost, very friendly on this. Potentially combo crazy. Yet another, like Kraken Jang said, yet another Ragavan in this set. Ragavan shows up everywhere.
People like Ragavan.
Free spells for me are really hard to put at B tier or lower.
Yeah.
Free spells for me feel like it just gotta go in A. I'm less on the token creature. Pretty low impact token creature. But it can be sacrificed to something,
It still feels kind of like dialed back to me. I mean, if you are playing delve stuff, then sure, it's like you can cascade into some pretty big shit.
Yeah.
But
I mean, think about all the convoke stuff. You're creating the token that'll help you convoke. The convoke costs get reduced, but it still sees a mana cost, so you get a free card play a free spell, instant or sorcery played from your hand. It also has to match instant or sorcery, which might actually hold you back at some points. Because it's got to share a type with it, card type with it.
Right.
And there are no spells that are instant sorceries.
I do like that it has First Strike and Menace, though I don't really see it much as an attacker.
No, I would play this as sort of a pseudo enchantment.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm having a hard time putting free spells next to have an unblockable hit somebody with haste and make a dragon.
I guess it could go at A, but we still have a lot of stuff to get through here.
Yeah, we do. Tell us about Borborygmos and Fblthp.
Sure, Teamer and 2 other for 6/5 Cyclops homunculus. Whenever Borborygmos and Fblthp enter the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. Then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard one or more cards this way, Borborygmos and Fblthp deals twice that much damage to target creature. And then for 1 blue and 1 other, you can put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. So that should kind of remind you a little bit of the Fblthp side of things there.
Kraken Jank, thank you for
it says that's my boy.
Thank you for waiting till the appropriate time to re-up your token creature membership. Appreciate you. Unfortunately, I feel like this one is a C for me. You're drawing a card, discarding any number of land cards. There's just a lot of hoops to jump through for then it to only be able to target creatures, not planeswalkers, not battles, not players. And then it doesn't even go back to your hand. It like disappears into your library.
When you discard 1 or more cards this way, it deals twice that much damage to target creature.
And it has to be lands. I don't see a lot of super redeeming qualities on this one. It doesn't really excite me at all. Yeah.
Jank, I'm sorry, man, but this card sucks.
I'm thinking D.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's not think too much on that one. We'll just go on to the next one here.
Djeru and Hazoret.
Oh, this is cool.
White, red,
That's
red,
right,
too.
because Hazoret is still alive.
Hazoret survived with an arm cut off, but look, she's got a Lazotep arm now, so she is back and ready to murder again. White, red, red, 2 for a human god 5/4. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, they have vigilance and haste. And when they attack, you look at the top 6, exile a legendary creature card from among them, put the rest on the bottom. Until end of turn, you can cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. So, it's a Legends Matter card for Legends Matter. It's honestly, I don't really like this one, y'all. I don't really like this one.
Okay. It's good for Hellbent and that kind of thing, but it feels like it wants to be Voltron, but then at the same time, it's like you want to have legendary creature cards in your deck.
Right.
I don't know, dude. I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. I love it in the 99
because Hazoret. Oh,
I talk about this all the time.
So good in the past.
Oh yeah, and Hazoret's an awesome character. Yo, one of my favorite decks from last year. I talk about this all the time. My Giada deck. It's a legendary Mardu Reanimator deck. This card absolutely going in the 99 of that. But as a commander, I just don't like the build around here. I'm kind of on a D as well. I think it's not as good as Elenda and Azor.
Wait, can we look at it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to read one thing on it.
As long as you have 1 or fewer, it has Vigi and Haste, and when it attacks, you look at the top 6, you can exile a legendary creature card. Like, it's a god and it doesn't even have indestructible.
Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
You can just kill.
What I don't like about that is that you might accidentally might accidentally go past something that you want too. Right. I don't like when cards do that.
This is not Winota Light. Winota drags them right onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. If this did that, we'd be having a different conversation. This just lets you cast.
Let's just make it a C.
Yeah.
C for see you later.
C for see you later. Tell us about Drana and Linvala. Ugh.
1 black, 2 white, and 1 other for a 3/4 vampire angel flying Vigi. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. And Drana and Linvala has all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. So it's like you don't get anything and I get your stuff for creatures with activated abilities. It seems like a commander for a meta and not something that I... Yeah, for me, it's just...
This is a sweaty as hell card.
It's a super sweaty card.
We need a second tier list that is for jerks.
If you're in a meta where players have a lot of stuff with a lot of activated abilities, you might want to play it. But otherwise, it's just like... I mean, if you build around shutting off how the game plays for other people, then I think there's probably a case for the card being good. If you can just play knowing that they don't get any of that,
yeah,
and that's how you want to play, then I mean
it shuts down entire commanders just by itself.
Right.
This
it's
is
a lightning
all
rod.
Extra.
It's just a lightning rod.
Oh,
so
for
I
sure.
mean, if you want to talk about a card, anytime a card shuts down how the game plays for other people, it's like Blood Moon, Winter Orb.
Right.
It's like, are they good? Sure. Will they be hated?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
That would be like the kind of thing that's just like if someone comes with a commander, like you said, that does have an activated ability. I'm not at S with it.
No,
I would say A or B.
It's just a hate piece, but I think that this card is incredible.
It is a stacks commander.
Yeah,
correct.
It's just a hate piece.
Gets
it's a jerky way to play, but you could win for sure in a competitive meta. It's definitely one you want to give some attention to. Yeah, it's just a brutal
You're
card.
Getting killed so fast if it's in the command zone.
Right.
The art is perfection, though.
Brutal card. Errant and Giada. Little Capenna action here. 3 mana here. Love that. And it's blue-white 1. For a 2/3 flashing flying commander. You can look at the top card of your library at any time, and you can cast spells with flash or flying from the top of your library. Value Town USA. Flash. They gotta be flash. It does not say instance. So you got to look and see. So Hullbreaker Horror, Aven Mind Sensor, Archivist of Ogma, Shimmermere. Some of these are granting flash, so you're seeing us skip those. Cathar Commando popping up again. Venser, Resto Angel, Snapcaster, Guardian of Faith. Really good cards.
Kind of like what 2012 Castle says, Tribal S and Generic B. Yeah, if you're building it into flyers, that could be just devastating, the card advantage that comes from this. If you have enough flyers in it, and it being the commander of your deck, and you could plan for it easily. I think it's very strong.
Yeah, I actually would rank this one an A. I don't think it's an S, just because flash and flying to me is a little bit more narrow than Katilda and Lier's human thing. Especially because all of your best flyers are gonna be in blue and white. And all of your best flying payoffs, like the angel that gets cheated in if you've got enough flyers and gives all your flyers indestructible. Stuff like that. All that's in white and blue.
Go flying and put a Vidalcan Orrery. Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like it's an A. But
look up flash plus flying.
Not quite an S. Yeah, let's look at it. 82 cards with flash and flying.
Resto Angel is an amazing card.
Yep. Thrix.
I like Spectral Sailor too.
Overcharged. Research Thief. That's not as good here.
Graph.
Thunderclap. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about right here. Flash flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. Literally a commander made to run Thunderclap Wyvern in.
Yeah.
Feels like an A.
Yeah.
You want to talk to us about Dinosaur Vampire here?
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. 2 white, 2 green, and 3 other for Ghalta and Mavren. Or Mavren. 12/12 Dinosaur Vampire. Trample. Whenever you attack, choose 1. You can create a tapped and attacking XX green dino. creature token with trample where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. So that is not Ghalta. You would not count the 12. Or you could create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So go wide, go big.
Either way.
It's a pretty fun card, man.
I can hear the art of this card. I think I watched Jurassic Park too much as a kid. When I see a T-Rex mouth open and roaring like that, I can hear it.
I would want to watch a cartoon about like a day in the life of just like Mavren wakes up. He's like, where the hell are we? And Ghalta's like, oh, I got scared last night. I had to move the house.
You think that's it? That's 100%.
You think Ghalta lives in there?
No. In his own backpack? Yeah. I think he folds up into his own backpack.
Of course Mavren lives in there. That's where
now I'm picturing him sitting on a little rocking chair, sipping his blood, his hot blood to wake up in the morning.
I mean, it's a powerful seat. Let's just say that. That's a nice spot to have on the battlefield.
This is big and dumb. Look, it's big and dumb. You want Concordant Crossroads, and the thing is the attacking trigger is awesome, except for it doesn't really help itself. It needs help. Because the first one doesn't trigger off itself, and then X is the number of other attacking creatures. That's You're only creating one. And so it really needs an army or another big thing. Plus it needs haste. Plus it's 7 mana. It's big and dumb and I love it. I can hear it, but I just don't feel like... I definitely think it's a B. I think it's better than Elenda and Azor and Djeru and Hazoret. I think it's
B for big.
Yeah, I think it's about as good as create dragons with unblockables. You know, it's create dinosaurs off your big stuff that you already have.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where I fall on it. Hidetsugu and Kairi. Hidetsugu's like, have y'all seen my expensive cards? A black, 2 blue, and 2 for 5/4 ogre, demon, dragon. Flying. When Hidetsugu and Kairi enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Anytime I see this, anytime I see an ability like that, I'm reminded of that Esper Planeswalker commander that cares about the top of your library. And Eminatu, I think. Be cool in the 99 of that. And then when it dies, exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or sorcery, you can cast it without paying its mana cost. So I feel like you want to play this in a deck that's got some sack outlets and some big ol' sorceries that you can finagle the top of your library. So Hidetsugu Kairi enters, finagles the top, put a huge sorcery on top, like Rise of the Dark Realms. Return all creatures from all graveyards onto your battlefield. So you put that on top, you sack Hidetsugu and Kairi, you exile Rise of the Dark Realms. Target opponent loses all of the mana of Rise of the Dark Realms. I think it's 8 or 9 off the top of my head. And then you get to cast it for free. Shoo-wee! But how good is that really? That was a lot of hoops.
To kill it. You cast it to kill it.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting, right? You want it to die. So maybe a little reanimator built in, so you're not just constantly having to...
I've been testing this with clone spells all week.
Oh.
How is it going?
A Mantastic. Now hang on. That's interesting. Okay. You clone it, you have to sacrifice it immediately. So you get the ETB, you get the dice trigger. Ooh, hang on. Clone deck.
It's amazing, you say. Totally nuts.
I think that this is definitely a B. I think that it could.
I mean, you have
probably
to play with
be
mana rocks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a blue black deck. It's gonna have mana rocks in it.
Yeah, you gotta just have a pile of rocks.
But pushing up into A, just because mass manipulation, you definitely don't want to play in this deck because you got to pay into X for mass manipulation. To my memory of mass manipulation. Hang on.
Time taking clone deck.
Mass manip. Yeah. You got to pay X in. So you would cast it for free and then gain control of 0. I like it. It's splashy. I think it lives at B for me. I think that it's one of those where it's like in the clone version of it.
Interesting.
Sweet. You comfortable with a B on that?
For sure. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Look at some cats.
Next up, we have I love the art on this.
Me too.
It's way over the top and crazy.
Wayne Reynolds goes hard, dude.
Inga and Asika, 1 blue, 1 green, 2 other for a 4/4. Legendary creature, human god. Creatures you control have vigilance and tap. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. And whenever you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from creatures was spent to cast it, draw a card. I love it because it's everything that you need it to do. It's just like absolutely busted. We were just talking about those enchantments that you play. That way you draw a card when you play creatures of a certain requirement. And this is just a card like one of those, except on your commander, and it lets you ramp into big stuff. It's pretty much like play big stuff.
Dude, I'm with Josh.
It's a generically good Simic card.
Exactly. You know? It's another generically good Simic card. Yo, I'm with Josh on this one. It says it has 2 phrases on it. Add 1 mana of any color, and it grants it to itself because it's creatures you control, not other. And draw a card. That's all you need to know. Yep. That is it. Yep. Fix your mana perfectly and draw cards.
It's an easy A.
Easy A. S. Easy A and a potentially reevaluate S. We're almost towards the end of our list here. Kogla and Yidaro. Big Gruul smash, baby.
I love this card too, dude.
I know.
I really love this card as well.
Green, red, 2. When it ETBs, choose 1. It gains trample and haste until end of turn, or it bites target creature you don't control. And that's a 7/7. It's killing almost everything on the battlefield and surviving. And then this bottom part, man, this is the part that makes it a commander bummer because you got to run a bunch of like return to hand effects and you're in green and red. Pay 4 with green and red, discard Kogla and Yidaro. Already you're like, wah, wah. Destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment and shuffle it into your library or graveyard, then draw a card. Yeah, it's 100% a 99 card. I love it in the 99.
It's for the 99, dude.
It's just as a commander, which is what we're doing here. I feel like it has to be like
probably like a D.
Yeah, I would say a D.
A C or a D.
You can't use that bottom ability. And
it's amazing 99. It's a fantastic versatile card for the 99.
Yeah, you ignore the bottom as commander for sure, but a 6 mana creature that's a 7/7 with no trample permanently,
and it just comes in and has haste or it fights something. It's not enough, but it is amazing in the 99.
Oh yeah,
it's great in the 99.
It's just not enough as a commander.
Yeah,
Kroxa and Kunoros, baby.
Yeah, this one's fun. 1 black, 1 white, 1 red, 3 other for 6/6, and it's an elder giant dog. Vigilance, menace, lifelink. Whenever Kroxa and Kunoros enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile 5 cards from your graveyard. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it sticks. It just stays there. It's good.
This is good.
It's got also a bunch of abilities on it that are all really nice. Vigi, menace, lifelink.
Menace is strong, bro. I've been playing for the last month and a half.
Lifelink is strong as well. Lifelink is very good.
Oh my god, yes. Highly underrated. Menace and lifelink. Yeah. But I've been playing a deck for the last month and a half that creates tokens with menace, and the decisions that it forces on your opponent are always uncomfortable. And that's when you know you're doing well, is when your opponents are having to make hard decisions. Enters the battlefield, you're automatically getting something. It's a May. You do have to have 5 cards in your graveyard, but you're in the right colors to get that on board.
Easy peasy. If you're playing stuff like Faithless Looting, if I were playing this, I'd be playing a bunch of mana rocks, I'd be playing a bunch of big stuff, and I'd be playing a bunch of looting effects like some of my favorite cards like Thrill of Possibility, Faithless Looting. I would just pitch shit to the yard, and then I would get this thing out as soon as possible.
Yes, dude.
One of the best things would be like a like a sepulchral primordial at some point in the game, being able to get something back that gets a bunch of other stuff back from your opponents is really good.
Or like Burning Rune Demon, so you can search up anything you want out of your library. I mean, 100%. This is so your type of commander with the discarding strategy. You're right. I didn't even think of it from that strategy. But yeah, I mean, also you're in white. A Montastic said you're blinking this thing. Dude, yes, ephemerate this thing. They go to try and remove it. Whoops. I blink it, I get its thing again.
Sun Titan is in this deck, that kind of stuff. Oh my god,
dude. Yes.
Yeah.
This to me is an A.
It's a great card. Yeah, easy A.
It pulls off of S because it's in Mardu and it's 6. So it's chonky. It ain't gonna see CEDH. Whereas like Katilda and Lier, arguable. Probably not. Sure. It doesn't have protection, and it is an expensive commander. Right.
I mean,
but it's in the colors that you can ephemerate it, bro. Just whenever there's a lot of ways to get around that. Lots of ways to get around that.
You do need to build it into a deck that has a lot of yard support, though.
Oh my god, that's got to be your whole thing. You need to be milling cards off top of your library as much as possible. Let's look at Rankle and Torbran. Red, black, 1. 3/4. Flying first strike haste. Love it. When it deals combat damage to a player or battle, like that less. Deals combat damage. Ugh. Choose any number though. Love that. Each player creates a treasure token. Each player sacks a creature. Hell yeah. We're definitely doing that one. And if a source would deal damage to a player or battle this turn, it deals that much damage +2 instead. We're probably doing that one.
Torbran. Yeah.
This one to me is aggressively medium. I don't necessarily want to be giving away treasures. We got to build.
It's honestly just okay.
Yeah. You got to build token strategies to get the sacrifice engine really going against your opponents and to your. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
It does have sack built into it, which is nice. I like that.
Right.
I don't know if I'd put it at D.
No, I'm thinking C or no. I don't think it's as good as these. I would rather play this list, and that's when we get late in these tier lists. I'm always looking at them like, okay, how do these compare against each other? To the others. I mean,
a 4/5. It is a 4/5, which is pretty good.
3/4.
No, it's. Oh no, 3/4.
Yeah, 3/4 for 5. But it does. If a source would deal damage to a player this turn, it deals that much damage +2.
I think it's a C, dude.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. All right, Big Froggy.
We could just put this one at S and move on past it.
We have covered this one on the channel at length.
Too much shit.
I've got a whole video live stream replay. Go check it out. We've got a community build of Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Go check out that video. We break this card down and build a whole deck around it at length and test it a little bit. It's so stupidly good. Yeah, this is just like
it's so stupidly good.
This is definitely the most pushed, I think, of this set. Maybe outside of Katilda and Lier, but I'm going S. We got 4 more left. Yargle and Multani.
It's so bad, dude. It's so bad, but I love it.
18/6.
It's so bad.
Chat, stop saying S. People watching on YouTube, we did not ask them to say yes. They are saying yes of their own volition.
I would build this with obviously Concordant Crossroads because you got to attack with the turn you play it.
Dude, we broke this one down too.
But what's kind of cool about this card, dude, is oh god, Yargle and Multani is S, says Food Time. I would 1,000,000% build this into like unblockable type effects and make sure that I can at least get through with it. But it is nice that you get to run good protection spells in green. Green has a ton of stuff to protect it, which is good.
So this is another one where we have a community build of Yargle and Multani. We built this one when it previewed, and we built it completely around Gerard Golgari Lichlord, paying 3, sacking it. Each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. And so it's like, go get Gerard.
It's not bad, yeah.
With all of the tutors that we run. Go get Gerard. Search it up. Get it onto the battlefield. If it dies, resurrect it with any of our resurrection. This is mostly like a backdoor Gerard Golgari Lichlord deck that just happens to have access to a guaranteed 18 power creature to sacrifice and drain everybody for 18.
Yeah, Rancor's pretty good here.
I can't in good conscience go above a C. For the meme, I feel like it gets out of D.
Yeah.
I feel like I am never ever going to sit down at a pod and somebody goes, is everybody cool with me playing my Yargle and Multani deck? I just can't.
It's like, yes, obviously.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure, please.
Tell us about Zimone and Dina.
I do like
Jake.
the art on it. All right, this one is just Sultai, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 black for a 3/4 human dryad. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And sacrifice another creature, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more lands, repeat the process once. So it's very strong. It's in colors that are generally known for being absolutely busted. You're getting a 3/4 for 3, which isn't that bad by itself. Then it has this little lose 2, gain 2, so there's a drain built into it. But yeah, that tap ability is a pretty big deal, man.
It's another generically good. I would say, another generic Simic.
We could just put it at A and be like, yes, it's a generically good A.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at... Yeah, it makes me want to move cards like Baral and Kari Zev. I feel like an Errant and Giada. Like I want to pull those down to B based on the strength of this one. I'm not 100% on it being an S. Each opponent losing 2 life, I'm in on it being an S. Target opponent loses 2 life, strong A to me. Sack a creature if you've got more than 8 lands, draw 2 cards, put 2 lands on the battlefield tap. That's pretty insane. And you're in Sultai. So you're getting that back. Or you're sacking tokens. I know it says draw your second card each turn. I get that. But you're overestimating the difficulty of drawing 2 cards on each of your opponent's turns. I think A. I'm sitting A there. I'm going to tell you about Zurgo and Ojutai. We got 2 left. And then
Did you want to do those move downs?
Yeah, we can. Let's get these other 2 on the board, and then we can do some adjustments here. Flying Hasting Jeskai 2. 4/4. Has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player or battle, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, rest on the bottom. You may return one of those dragons to its owner's hand. So I look at this and I go, okay, I don't even want to build dragons around this. It does everything it needs. It's a little toolbox creature that comes out with flying and haste when it's a good opportune moment for you and they're unblocked in the air, you know. It can't get removed at instant speed if it's entered the battlefield this turn, so you're good there. It attacks, deals combat damage because you were prepped for that. Look at the top 3, put 1, come back. So it's 4 commander damage plus a card into your hand for 5 mana. I feel like this is very medium.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think I would go like maybe, C, B or C on it.
I think C, dude. 4/4. I mean, you're not even getting to commander damage quickly. If it was 5, at least that's 4 hits. No, 5 hits. Shit. Yeah, I mean, you gotta go 6 hits with this thing. Yeah, I just not a huge fan there. And then Surrak and Goreclaw, 6 mana, 6/5. Trample other creatures you control have trample, and whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it, gains haste. Sick big 99 green. Card. Sick 99 card.
Yeah. Just big green.
As a commander,
meh.
Yeah, it doesn't have draw on it. You're gonna need to pack your commander deck mono green with all of those enchantments that say if it's a big creature at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card, etc.
Yeah. Just a man bear. It's a human bear.
If we were rating these for the 99, this one's getting an S in creature decks. I mean, it's just busted in that kind of deck. But other than that, I think it's a strong... I think it's a B. What do you think?
Tom, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I'm actually fine with it at like B or C. I think it's for the 99. I just don't think it's really a commander.
So off the rip, Baral and Kari Zev and Errant and Giada are the two that I think would roll down to B just based off the strength of Zimone and Dina, Kroxa and Kunoros. I mean, I'm comfortable with all of these at A for sure. I'm comfortable with these at C, at S. I mean, honestly, what do you think, Jake? I like this list.
I think the list looks good. There's nothing that I would move around either. I think the cards that are worse than Yargle are actually worse than Yargle as commanders. Sadly, Jenks Fblthp ended up at the bottom of the list tonight.
I know, I hate that. Looking at S, we got Katilda and Lier, Thalia and Gitrog. A, we ended up with Shalai and Hallar, Slimefoot and Squee, Drana and Linvala, Inga and Asika, Kroxa and Kunoros, and Zimone and Dina. Moira and Teshar, Rashmi and Ragavan, Saint Traft, Rem, Goro and Satoru, Ghalta, Hidetsugu, Surrak, Baral, Kari Zev, Errant and Giada all around a B. We got our Vampire Sphinx, our Djeru, Hazoret, Rankle, Yargle, and Zurgo at C. And then, yeah, unfortunately, our little Fblthp and this was probably made for constructed duo. Both land in D. That
Q
is
Murphy says Shalai to S. I don't know. Did we? Where was Shalai?
Shalai is our potential Heliod walking ballista out of the command zone victory. I think that there's an argument for a few of these in A to be moved up to S, depending on you being a better commander deck builder than me and Jake. But
which is probably not a tall order for me anyway.
Probably not super difficult to pull off. That is our tier list for the duo commanders. You gotta let us know in the comments down below, people watching on YouTube. Hey, live chat, make sure you say bye to people on YouTube right now. Make sure that you let us know down in the comments whether you agree or disagree with us, and we'll catch you on the flippity.